About 58,000 Americans and 3 million Vietnamese were killed in the Vietnam War, but those statistics don't begin to tell the complete story.
Monday was the 43rd anniversary of the fall of Saigon, when the U.S. officially pulled out of Vietnam. Our Megan Reyna with a veteran who's a living example of the tragedy caused by our government's actions during the war.
I've been a tennis pro for 45 years. Been playing tennis. Up until a few months ago, I was riding a bike.
Whacking a tennis ball comes naturally to Jim Blackadder. Being a wounded warrior does not. When he was 18, just out of high school, he enlisted in the Marine Corps.
You know, I wanted to be a hero.
He did basic training and then was sent off to Vietnam.
I was there for about 14 months and very fortunate not to be wounded or something happened I didn't think.
Blackadder went on to live a healthy lifestyle, playing football, teaching tennis, and biking in 100-mile races.
Then about 20 years ago, I started feeling my body wasn't just the way it should be.
He went to Veteran Affairs searching for answers.
He said, well, if you think it's Agent Orange, he said, you're crazy.
Blackadder is referring to what is known as the silent killer, a powerful herbicide sprayed in Vietnam by the military to eliminate forest cover and crops for Viet Cong troops.
Vietnam is a very heavy dense jungle environment.
Ron Milam, Texas Tech history professor and Vietnam veteran, says the generals felt it was crucial to control the jungle.
The heavy vegetation allowed the enemy to get right up close to those canals. And when the boats, the swift boats as they were called, traversed the canals, the enemy was able to hide in the edges of those canals.
More than 13 million gallons of Agent Orange was used in Vietnam, almost 2/3 of the total amount of herbicides used during the entire war. The defoliant contains the poisonous chemical dioxin. It was later proven to cause serious health issues, including cancer, birth defects, and severe psychological and neurological problems among the Vietnamese, U.S. servicemen and their families.
Where it gets confusing is whether or not we, the United States military, knew that it was a dioxin, whether we knew that it caused great harm to the people that were in the area, whether those be the enemy or whether those be American soldiers or whether they be future offspring. Midway through the President Obama administration, the decision was made by the VA under President Obama that it would be assumed if you served in Vietnam, you were exposed to Agent Orange.
I stayed away from the VA and kind of just kept doing what I was doing. And then a couple of years ago, a bunch of my buddies who had gone to Nam together, they were all with Agent Orange, and they convinced me that I need to go back.
The VA's website lists 13 diseases associated with exposure to Agent Orange. Blackadder suffers from 2, ischemic heart disease and Parkinson's.
They have gotten better, you know, because they have to. They had to. It got pretty ugly for a while, but they've had to got you know, a lot better, and they still have a lot of problems, though.
He's also fighting skin cancer, a disease not recognized as a complication of Agent Orange. However, reports suggest it's linked. According to a study done by the Journal of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, more than half of the veterans tested positive for the cancer. Despite all his medical issues, Blackadder is focused on helping others.
They're pretty much figured out that there's not a whole lot you can do to change it. You know, like PD, if they could change that, they would have done that a long time ago. I would just like to help the people to live a comfortable life that have it and be able to have things that, you know, that they normally couldn't have.
He started Color Me Agent Orange, an organization focused on raising awareness and providing resources for Vietnam vets.
Well, I think Jim is kind of carrying the torch that a lot of people can't.
Blackadder spends around 2 hours a day reading and researching about the defoliant. Milam says his efforts are being noticed.
He's saying, we'll work with the VA to the extent that they'll work with us, but we need to get out there and let the world know, let the Americans know at least the problems that were caused by this terrible defoliant that's now affecting all of us.
His hope, as more vets die, we won't forget what probably killed them.
I just want to get an organization that I can help as many people as I can, any way that I can. If I can help them financially, if I can get them to a doctor, if I can, whatever I can do for them, that's what I want to do.
Agent Orange casualties continue to mount, contributing to the deaths of an estimated 750,000 vets. Since they were injured by their own government, Blackadder says they aren't eligible for a Purple Heart. He hopes the government will show some heart and create a ribbon or medal for those affected by the deadly defoliant. Megan Reyna, Fox 34, News at 9.